Relax, sit back as we fill your mind with spooky true crime stories of the deranged, unhinged, and absolute pure evil murders that will blow your mind. Some places we will visit to show you around and educate you on the history. Other times we will bring you to the paranormal because the dead never lie silent for too long.
Be the last time anybody sees us alive. I don't know where she has us, but we're gonna get fucking killed.
Hello? Gina, there is a beehive over there. Do you see that in the hole?
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome. You look a little lopsided. I'm just kidding.
I am lopsided.
You actually don't.
I don't. The swelling's gone down.
I mean, not considering you looked like last week, but no.
We told everybody last week that I was getting my teeth pulled, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, gosh. You know what, Gina? Feel free to put up whatever pictures that I sent you if you want to. Or I can put it up. Because, I was...
She looks really good now.
I was looking like the Elephant Man. And I that's kind of sad because there was actually a real Elephant Man. But I don't, But all this right here was flopping, too. I had one side that, like, my whole... neck was like because of the swollenness, but yeah, no, it's gone down a lot.
Yeah,
but yeah, still sore. 5 days later.
Yeah,
but I'm a baby, so.
No, you're not a baby.
I am. I was really concerned because we're flying on Friday, and today's Wednesday, right?
Why were you concerned?
Because of the pressure. Because I thought maybe it would hurt my teeth.
Oh,
but no, right?
I don't think so.
I think I'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be a week later, so so we leave
a week later, a few Xanax later.
Massachusetts, right?
I'll be
a
fine.
lot of Xanax later.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Like, it always reminds me of that movie with
We're gonna
Anne
be a
Hesh.
real treat
With Anne Hesh and is it Harrison Ford? Was it Harrison Ford, Anne Hesh, where they're going down in the plane and she starts popping all the Xanax?
I don't know. You're asking
and they end up
me.
crashing. I'm sorry. Yeah, if anybody knows that movie and the plane crashes on an island or whatever.
Great. That's a really nice story to tell 24 hours before we leave.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gee, thanks.
I got enough Xanax, though.
Thanks. Okay. Perfect. We're set.
Yeah.
So we leave for Massachusetts super early Friday morning.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Crack of dawn. I mean, if this tells you anything, they're 3 hours ahead and we get there around 2 p.m. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We're flying out pretty early.
Yeah. But I'm
with
excited.
a 5.5 hour flight. So,
yeah. So what are we going to talk about today?
We're doing a shoot the shit. And
Another one.
Well, only because, we're getting ready to leave on this trip and stuff. So, it's really hard to do a lot of research on some of these stories. And just there's a lot of stuff out there, though, that things are happening in the news and stuff. I mean, our president... assassination attempt on him, and that's pretty serious. I'm just going to throw that out there. No matter what your political views are, our country should not get to that point.
Not way to handle things.
No,
so
not at all.
Yeah. So
I
whatever
no
side you're on, whatever you do,
I think people have the right to have. We don't always see eye to eye on politics.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's like everybody has the right to their own opinion, to their own belief system. And we should respect that as Americans. And I just don't think it's right.
Yeah, it's just not. So the world is kind of
going to shit.
Yeah, quickly.
I have a cousin who's visiting from England right now. And I like to always get their take on, what do they think about us? Because we, us crazy Americans. And I had asked them about that because they're here during this time that it happened. And they think it's ridiculous that we campaign for 2 years before he says they're only allowed to do 6 weeks prior to an election. I think we need something like that. What the crap? 2 years? I'm so done with it.
It gives people the chance to just be really, really wild and do, I don't know. This whole situation, it was really disturbing.
That is scary. And the
disturbing.
fact that somebody lost their life because of it, just because there's some place where you agree, you don't agree. I don't give a shit.
Who cares what you were there for? It doesn't matter.
Somebody shouldn't lose their life. And he was a firefighter.
He was.
And a father and a dad.
2 kids, I believe his 2 daughters were there.
His wife, that sucks.
Awful.
And 2 people in critical condition.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's enough of our political side. I mean, but it's just
Yeah.
our world's going to shit.
Yeah.
But
So we thought we'd like just talk about more shitty stuff.
yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff that's come up, and the one thing
Yeah.
that's come up is that you brought this topic up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was scrolling through TikTok, believe it or not, because I've been on a TikTok kick lately.
That's amazing.
I
How the roles have turned.
yeah, I don't even know what made me go on there. I think somebody must have like sent me a TikTok and it opened up, and then the one that I watched afterwards, it was about some haunted place, and then I just went down this whole rabbit hole of I don't even know what. But I came across a video, and I think that this has kind of been a thing since 2020.
Yeah, it's kind of been something that they've been talking about
Off and on.
Not really like a comparison, but more like
but
what's going on with this case.
Yeah.
The case is.
So it's kind of talking about Gypsy Rose and the Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
And, I would love to hear people's thoughts, because obviously we know that Gypsy Rose just got out last Christmas-ish, around Christmas time. And she served, I don't know,
I can't even remember off the
not a
top.
very long time.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I would be surprised if it was more than 5 years.
No, she did. She served more than 5 years.
Did she?
I think, yeah. But anyway,
I don't.
the Menendez brothers are going on like, I don't know for sure, but
30
30 something years.
It was 89.
Yeah. Okay.
86, 86, something
89.
like
It was 89.
Yeah, the year I graduated.
And so,
From college.
cut that out.
No,
Just kidding. So I was curious to hear what people's thoughts are.
I meant from elementary school. I just made myself older by saying
Yeah,
from
I was
college.
like, why did she say college? But okay.
I don't know.
I'm
Oh
like,
my
whatever.
gosh.
You should have said
From
kindergarten.
kindergarten. That's what I meant. From kindergarten.
Now you guys know she's really lying. It's okay. She's still medicated a week later, guys. She still hasn't got it back together.
I mean, truth be told, I was telling her that since we're flying on Friday and I have new medication, I wanted to see how my Xanax interacted with the new medication. And so I took it this morning. And so I've been really chill today.
She's like, I had a great day today. I'm like, I bet you did.
Had a really good day today.
I bet you did. We're going to have a really good trip, too.
Yeah. A really good day today. Anyways.
But so I just wanted to go over kind of like a little bit of both of these cases to see how they might compare to each other, or, what people's feelings are. I would love to hear how people feel about the Menendez brothers serving a life sentence with no possibility of parole.
And I know this is something that they brought up in the past, and I think there's been some appeals, and people they have attorneys that have been looking at it.
Yeah.
Just because of their what they're saying, because they were saying that they were sexually abused.
Yeah.
Essayed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's right or wrong anymore.
Yeah.
They were sexually abused as young men by their father.
Correct.
And that their mom knew about it. And so they had harbored a lot of anger, and a lot of family members have spoken out about it and talked about it and said that it did happen.
Yeah.
There's even a letter that I guess that he wrote a year beforehand.
Right.
To a cousin.
To
Talking about it.
That he was scared,
Yeah.
and that his dad was crazy.
And so they're saying like, and I understand that the Menendez brothers, they did it with their own hand. Gypsy Rose technically didn't.
Right.
But there's no difference. There shouldn't be any
No, I
difference.
mean,
We've talked
she's-
about that in the past.
Yeah, she is still the one that, unfortunately she was abused. And honestly, like, the stuff that went on with her is just as bad as what went on with him. I'm not trying to compare like her abuse was worse than their abuse, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to compare that at all. But what I do feel like isn't fair is that when the Menendez brothers case went to trial, they were tried separately originally. And then the jury was deadlocked and there was a mistrial. Then there was a new trial and they were tried together. And they were in that trial, the second trial, the abuse allegations were not allowed.
Oh, I did not know that.
So in the first trial, when they were tried separately, Eric and Lyle, the abuse allegations were allowed. And so after the jury was deadlocked and then they obviously had a mistrial, the second trial, they did not allow the abuse allegations. So the jury never got to hear that part of it. So basically all the jury got to hear was, here are these two kids
Rich
that murdered their multimillionaire parents
for the money.
and literally, you know, immediately after their parents are murdered, they're out buying Rolex watches and you know,
Cars
spending all kinds of money. And not that that is good regardless, but I think that the abuse allegations play a huge part in this and why they did it, because they claimed that one of the big reasons why they did it is because I believe it was Lyle who, I cannot tell them apart. I know Lyle is the one that wears a wig. One of them is balding and has been balding since like he was a teenager and always wore a wig.
I think Lyle's the skinnier, smaller one.
I believe so.
And yeah.
But he had, I believe it was him.
Well, when he was younger.
That had a conversation with the dad, with their father. And the father basically said, if you tell, I will kill you. And so I feel like they were in fear for their life. And this was probably their only way out of, you know.
Under his control.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, because he wasn't stopping. It wasn't like, oh, they hit
No.
a certain age and he stopped.
And they
Because
weren't
he
the
was
only
still
people that
doing it.
that he
Did it to-
abused.
Yeah.
He did it too. Because he worked for RCA. He was a producer for RCA Records, and he abused a little boy who, well, I say little boy, but he was like 13 or 14. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the band. Ricky Martin was in it.
Menudo?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he played a big part in that band because the band was signed under RCA. And so basically the concept of this band was once they reach like 15, 16, 17 years old,
They switched them out.
They switch them out for younger kids. Mm-hmm. One of the kids was abused by the father. And so there's a whole documentary on it also. And so obviously this man had a problem.
Yeah.
And
they claimed that the wife knew about it. His kitty knew about it.
yep.
So,
And I feel like now these men now are, you know, serving life without the possibility of parole. And they're not at the same prison. They're housed separately.
the sad part is I think if it was tried now, and it's just sad to say,
Oh, it would be totally different.
it would be a totally different outcome, because I think now they take more serious crimes against boys, men, just crimes against women sexually, more serious now than they did back in the 80s. I think it was like,
I feel like it would be manslaughter at this point.
I think
They'd be out. They would have been
Thank you.
out.
They would have been out.
They would have been out.
Because I feel like even though it was premeditated,
It was
based off emotion. I think it was based off, like, you know what I
It
mean?
was almost like a self-defense.
Like, yeah, like it wasn't like, oh, I just want to kill to the kill. Like, I don't feel like it.
No,
would've
and,
fallen
like-
on under first degree murder.
And unfortunately, when it's premeditated, that's pretty much first degree
Degree murder.
murder. But yeah, I just
I don't know. I just feel like I just think that's an
you
extra
probably
circumstance.
get to a point where, and thank God I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank God you don't know. Thank God a lot of us don't know what it's like to go through this. But I feel like you probably get to a point where you just feel like this is the only option, because if I tell, my dad has already said that he's going to kill me
Yeah.
and my brother. And if he doesn't kill me and I tell, are people going to believe me?
Yeah. I'm wondering if this is going to open doors for them though because of Gypsy Rose.
I feel like eventually they will have a retrial. I feel like they will eventually at some point. Not necessarily because of Gypsy Rose, but I feel like just because of it being brought up and so much evidence that was not able to be presented.
Right there already, that should be a reason for a retrial.
Yeah.
And I know that the lawyers are bringing all this evidence forward, and I think that's what you were talking about starting back a few years ago.
Yeah,
They
like in
started,
2020 is kind of when they started to present all this evidence, and talks of a retrial were kind of, brought up. But I feel like, don't come for me. because by no means am I saying what these boys at the time, what they did, but I feel like they do deserve a retrial. They deserve to tell their story completely, the whole entire story, not just, what was allowed. Like, I think everything should be admissible.
It should be. I don't understand why they wouldn't have brought that stuff.
There was something to do with it, and I believe it had. I could be wrong. If anybody knows, please correct me, because I haven't read about this case in a long time. But I feel like it had something to do with the cousin's testimony, and if it was valid, because they were saying like about the letter that they found. It was found like in storage.
Yeah.
But they were saying that, how do they know that letter, the only people that would be able to validate if that letter was actually written would be the cousin, like was written at that time.
And the cousin's no longer alive.
The cousin has passed and has been passed away for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And the other one would be Lyle Menendez, which obviously he would say yes. But they're saying that Lyle Menendez could have written that letter after the murders.
I know there's a lot out there, and even back then when I was hearing about the case, I'm like, oh, they're bringing this up now. Well, how convenient of a story. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost hard to believe because it wasn't something that was brought up prior. It actually wasn't brought up right away.
They said that they forgot about the letter. They forgot that it was in
No, I'm saying
storage.
about the abuse. Like,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
The abuse by the father. Like,
Right.
It wasn't something they.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it was something, they were, because when they shot him, they called the cops like, I shot my dad because I feared for my life because he was abusing us. Like, that didn't come out. That wasn't their story right from the beginning.
They said that somebody came in and shot their mom and dad. Like, yeah, they were, and again, don't come for me, but could you imagine the amount of relief that they had if this is all true, which I believe it, I truly believe that they were abused. The amount of relief that they must have felt knowing that their parents were not there anymore to be able to do that to them.
Yeah.
And, they were saying, they're just going about their life and they're just spending money and off playing tennis and blah, blah, blah. Whatever they did, like they were just living their life happy as can be. Well, yeah, they probably were happy as can be because they didn't have this looming over them.
Yeah. I mean, imagine living in a household like that, coming
No.
home and under that type of pressure
and they
stress.
lived in Beverly Hills.
Ooh, super rich. Beautiful.
The house
home.
is beautiful. We've been by the house many times. I think I still have a picture somewhere. I'll have to find it. But the house is a beautiful, it's a beautiful home in Beverly Hills. I believe one of them is incarcerated in San Diego right now. Could be totally wrong. I want to say they're both incarcerated in California.
Yeah, I think they're in California.
But not together.
Yeah.
So I just,
for a while there, they said they didn't even speak for years. I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them's married.
Yeah, I know that they didn't. I feel like they did kind of have a falling out, obviously, because I know Lyle is much more willing to talk on things and Eric is not.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how a retrial would work if
Maybe do them separately like the first
Yeah.
time. But we just want to know, like,
Yeah,
what's
I'm
everybody's
real
take?
curious. And also I just recently, I'm not finished with it yet, but I know it's been out for a little while. The Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup.
I have not seen that one at
So
all.
I started watching it. I'm like on episode 5 or 6.
What channel is that on?
It's on Lifetime.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many episodes are in the series, but it basically picks up from the day that she's released from prison. And
A lot has changed.
and it's like
It's like a soap opera.
it's honestly it's like it's kind of filmed like a reality show.
Yeah, it's a soap
You
opera.
know,
I
they
feel
just
like it's a
they
soap
just
opera.
kind of follow her around. And I know that now, you know, it's come out that she's pregnant from the guy that she was with in prison, and then he broke up with her because he didn't want to be in the limelight. He didn't want fame. He didn't want any of that. It was too much for him. He broke up with her, and as she says, like, completely broke her heart. And then she started dating this guy, Ryan. They got married. She gets out, and now she's back with this guy, Ken, who she's now pregnant from. But I have to say, in watching this series, I feel like a lot of people in the beginning felt sorry for this guy, Ryan, because everybody was like, oh, this poor guy, you know, she gets out, she dumps him because, you know, he's like a bigger guy and he's like a really big guy.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
So a lot of people were like, you know, she was just using him to get whatever she could from him. And then, you know, now she goes back to this other guy. But what I will say is, in watching these first 5 episodes, this guy's a dick.
I don't really think that he married her for love.
He's an asshole.
Is he?
He treats her horribly. And I don't know how she treats him. Like a lot of things have come out saying, you know, that she was mean to him. But let's just back up and let's just think about what this girl has gone through
and where she's been.
If you think that you are going to marry this girl straight out of prison or in prison, and you're going to come home and you're just going to live this lovely, carefree life, you got rocks in your head.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to happen that way. This girl literally had, and mind you, remember, Gypsy Rose did not get therapy in prison.
No, she needs therapy.
This girl is just starting.
She needs
just
therapy.
starting. And so I feel like for him to now come out and say, you know, she was never good to me, she was this, she was that. Well, she probably was, because the girl's got problems. I think he enjoyed the fame.
Oh, he enjoyed the limelight. I don't think he married her for the right reasons.
No, I think he really, really enjoyed having the cars follow, the paparazzi following them. He's very... I'm not too sure what her family... I kind of feel like her family was not real sure about him either.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not done with it yet, but I obviously know how it's going to end, like what's going to happen. But
she's going to have a baby.
Yeah. And not from him.
Yeah.
But I did think that it was a little ironic that he is a special education teacher.
Yeah. He's just creeped me out. I honestly, okay, people are going to come at me right now, but is he even straight? I swear.
Yeah, he looks like her mother.
Yeah,
he looks like her mother. And a lot of things, you'll have to watch it because I
haven't seen it, but
I just want to get your feelings, or if any of you guys have watched it, I would love to hear what your guys' take
people
on it is.
Come at me.
Only because who cares?
I know.
Who cares? You have a daughter that's now a son, so you know what?
I'm
Sorry.
okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I just feel like I just don't feel like, and maybe it's not even like, is he straight? Like I just felt like he was fake. the whole time. Like, I just never felt him to be a genuine person.
Right.
I don't know.
So immediately after she's released, she was released at around, I don't know, 3:00 in the morning or something like that. Cause they were trying to avoid all the paparazzi coming and whatever. And so he picks her up and he cannot keep his hands off of her. He cannot stop touching her. And this just goes on and on, like episode after episode after episode of him just hovering over her. And he constantly, and you can almost see like the first night that he picks her up, they're in this hotel room and she's kind of just like, you know, she probably feels like, okay, like I'm really overwhelmed by all of this. She hasn't ridden in a fucking car in how long? She gets in the car and she's like, oh my God, like the car's moving. Oh my, like she's tripping out on like things that, you know, all of us just are day-to-day things. And this guy just won't leave her alone. And I just felt like if I were her, I would have been like, just get away from me.
Yeah.
And at one point she's on her phone and she's like trying to figure something out. She wants to get a dog. And he's just like right here, like over her shoulder, like just looking. And she just turns around. She looks at him. She's like, you're hovering again. And he's like, I'm sorry. Like he's, you know, like just get away, like get back up. And so I don't know. It's not how I thought it was going to be. And I'm not sure if I thought I was going to feel sorry for him, but I just feel a lot differently than I thought that I would. Cause yeah, he really gives me the willies.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
Because she's got a lot of work that needs to be done.
No, she does. So my question then is to everyone out there, because and I know she didn't actually do the murdering, but she was in the planning stages. She did, you know, the crime and everything. Should we look at these cases the same? Like, you know, and I know the cases aren't exactly the same, but I'm saying as far as, you know, abused. And I'm going to bring back something with the Menendez brothers is that when they committed these crimes, they were young men, like 19, 20, 21. Mm-hmm. Their brain isn't fully developed. We all know that. Right. Boys' brains don't fully develop till 26. They don't have that brain that tells them, like that reasoning, you know, that's why they do crazy shit when they're younger. They don't have that one that tells you to stop. And I think sometimes we have to take that into consideration with some of these.
With all of their abuse that they, on top of that.
Yeah. And I think that really affects your
of course
growing up, like your maturity.
For sure.
And it just puts us, like it stops it. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. So I really think, I hope they look at this case, and I hope.
Yeah, I hope there's a retrial. I really do.
I mean, even if they decide the same fate, but at least give them the fair trial. Bring all the evidence up front. Lay it out.
I honestly don't see how in a retrial that they would still get life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Yeah, at least with the possibility of parole.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I see like manslaughter, honestly.
I see time served.
Oh, 30 years? My God.
Yeah. Well, by the time it gets retried, you know.
It'll be 30 years. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Probably 35, 40.
Yeah, seriously.
You know? So, yeah. So, okay. Well, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, what are your
you think?
thoughts? Yeah. I would love to. And I know people are going to be all over the place, and that's fine. Everybody has their own feeling about this, and I'm sure that if people have, you know, if there's anybody that has been abused or has had anything like this go on in their family, they're going to feel very strongly and very passionate about that. There's going to be other people that don't, you know. And
we're not saying just because you're abused, you go off and murder somebody too.
No,
like that's
absolutely not.
It shouldn't be done. Like, you know, but those things need to be taken into consideration when evaluating someone's mental health.
Absolutely.
So
just like I don't agree with Gypsy Rose not getting any therapy in prison.
Yeah.
Why?
I just don't.
I don't understand.
I just don't understand. Do people get therapy in prison? Because they all should. Every single one
No
of them
matter
should. No
what
matter
you're
what you
there
did.
for.
Thank you. Every single person needs therapy. I think every single person, just period, needs therapy.
Exactly. Especially in today's
Yeah.
world. I'm
You live
going to
thank
need
you.
a lifetime of it. So
Thank you. And we haven't even had things that are half as traumatizing
Of course.
and things like that. But it's just, everybody needs
it's life.
therapy.
Yeah. It's just life.
It's just getting through it, knowing how to cope, knowing how to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at, like we were talking about with the president, the former president getting shot, like helping these people, like,
Yep.
So we don't have this happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. People know where to direct their feelings or
For sure.
things like that. So
Yeah. So let us know how you feel about this
Yes.
case. And again, we don't mean anything bad or
No.
we're not against anybody. It's just, obviously the way that we feel, and that's okay. We can
Yeah.
feel how we want.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know how you feel.
Yeah, let us know how you feel. And
We're just going to get
we
our
will-
feelings all out there.
right?
Yeah.
It's a way to do it. So yeah, we're gonna be on a plane here in a day and a half, and we will hopefully be able to upload videos and stuff while we're gone.
Yeah.
And we will be back and hopefully have some
Stories.
pretty cool stories. We're
I'm
gonna
excited.
visit some cool places. So yeah, we will let you guys. We'll keep you updated. Maybe we'll try to go live on Instagram. Maybe we'll try to go live on YouTube. I don't know.
I don't know how to do it.
We've
but
never
you know
done
what?
it. We'll have to do it from my phone probably.
Yeah,
So I don't know. We'll try to figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So
I don't want to take a laptop on the plane though, because did you see that plane that caught fire because somebody's battery from their laptop?
oh god.
In the
Okay,
overhead.
Enough. We're gonna go. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.